Well, next week, the Austin City Council will need to decide what to cut from a budget it approved in August, but they can no longer afford because voters said no to higher property taxes a couple of weeks ago.
But when that budget discussion happens next week, many of the cuts the council members will be discussing are from services or positions that don't yet exist. KXAN's Grace Reader is helping break down what will actually be lost for you tonight.
First, a lesson on how budget works in the city of Austin. Every year, the city manager comes out with a proposed budget that serves as the base. Then, city council members make changes to that base before voting on a final version of that budget. Usually, this budget goes into effect October 1st, and we don't really talk about it again. But this year, that budget hinged on Prop Q passing, and as you know, it did not. Which means we're back to square one, kind of. The city manager now has to make adjustments to his proposed base budget with all of this in mind. City council will then work from there. But that means some of this will need to go away. Additional funding for EMS, public health grants at risk, and restoring the fire department's overtime budget. In the end, they'll need to cut roughly $110 million from the budget they approved in August. So when City Council meets starting Tuesday, some of what they'll be doing is cutting what they added to that original budget. We'll have it covered for you from City Hall. Grace Reader, back to you.
All right, Grace, thank you so much. If what the city manager is proposing now passes without changes, here are some of the differences between last year's fiscal budget and this one. An overall base wage increase for city employees, new EMS and fire positions for the Canyon Creek Fire and EMS station, more money put toward homeless efforts like keeping the marshalling yard and 8th Street shelters running, and more money and staff to address park maintenance. There are also some cuts to the fire and police overtime budgets.